Watch who?
Hello.
And welcome to Watch Who, a Doctor Who podcast. I'm Mark.
I'm Sarah.
I'm a Doctor Who fan.
And I'm new to watching Who.
Watching for the very first time.
Very first time.
And it's the finale of season 3, everybody.
We're there.
We are there, the final two-parter. We're doing both episodes this time. Probably should apologise to Patreons for this being a little bit late.
Yes. I mean, we're literally recording this very late. It is my fault. We were going to record this on Monday, and this is now Friday.
I think maybe we were going to record it even earlier. I feel like this is the most rescheduled episode we've ever had.
Well, because we did our thingy episode on Saturday.
Oh, yes.
Friday.
Yeah.
Our mini-sode on Saturday. And then I watched it on Sunday, and we were going to record on Monday. That was the plan. And then I couldn't watch it on Sunday because I still had work to do. So I was like, I have to finish this work by Monday. I'll watch it on Monday. So it got moved from Monday. I still didn't watch it. Monday got moved to Tuesday. Tuesday got moved to Thursday. Thursday got moved to today. And then today got moved to even later today.
Yes. So I don't know when everyone's getting this, but it's due out on Monday for everybody. So I better get editing.
Apologies.
Oh, dear. Yeah, I watched this ages ago, actually, thinking about it. But never mind. But then also in this whole week, I'm still thinking about Dalek's Master Plan. That's still my everyday thought until I get to see the episodes.
Well, this is interesting. So after I watched this, and I very briefly was just telling Mark this, we went back and looked, because obviously we did the minisodes, we went back and looked. So looked at the Demons to look at some like classic Master. So watched one episode of the Demons, and then we went back to like series 3 just to see what was on there and look at what in the Master Plan was there. I did look at some of the animation of the Toy Maker.
Oh, the new Oh, you've seen it. Oh, right. Oh, great.
No, I'd never seen it before. Do I mean the Toy Maker?
Celestial Toy Maker, yeah.
Yes, I do mean the Celestial Toy Maker. I'd never seen the animation of it before because you told me not to watch it.
Well, no, I didn't. I would never say that. I would never say that.
I think you said, Sarah, I would avoid that one.
Do you know what? I quite like it now. It was a bit of a shock because it's very different, the Toy Maker animation.
I could, even watching it, I'd tell you what annoyed me the most about it. Sorry, this is really off topic. We will get to today's episode, but it's only because I was looking back at like previous ones and it's around that time. And it's like the brightest thing in there as well. So when you're looking at an iPlayer, it's all blah, 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 and then it's like, boo!
They put
really
all the animations on iPlayer, the colour versions. So on the releases, you get the disc with the colour version and the disc with the black and white. I always watch the black and white versions.
I think that's the only way you could watch it.
I think
because the colour is really like jarring. It really cheapens it, I think. But for me, the worst part is that the mouse don't match the audio. That's the worst part. It's got to at least sync up. It's got to feel synced in some way.
Well, that Toy Maker one is the more 3D animation, which is a bit more... Which, you know, when did the Web of Fear, which was like the most famous, like worst one, where they were like... That it's those people. So it's all different styles. As you go through, some of the other ones are really good. And then these CGI ones aren't. But actually, you do get used to the Toy Maker one. And it does sort of fit the theme of the show because it can be a bit weird because they're in the weird like realm.
You can get away with it with the Toy Maker. And like I said, the style itself, I didn't mind because of the nature of what that story is. But what's really hard to like get into, and I almost struggled to like get on board with, was the lack of the voices not matching with what was happening with them.
Like the Savages was fine. That sort of more traditional animation, I think that works fine.
And it almost felt like watching that Toy Maker that there were points where there was almost like no one's even bothered to try. I only watched a few little bits of it.
It's a difficult one. I will defend it a little bit in that you've only got the soundtrack. There's no telesnaps. There's just, when you listen to the soundtrack, like, you know, just the audio, there's bumps. They're doing all sorts of different things. It's quite a visual show. No one knows what they're actually doing. No one, you can only go by the script and the bumps and the noises on the thing. So it is really difficult to actually match up the action of what's happening because nobody knows.
I get that, But you know when people are talking.
Yeah. The mouth, it just, even the face, like, they just don't look particularly great to me. Just the people don't look good. But I can't believe you've gone
The
through it.
mouths was sometimes not moving, like even open when people were talking, and like it just didn't match in any way. And I thought, oh, that's like other things. I can forgive like a noise on the floor. The backgroundy noise is a little, like you say, because there's so much going on in those visually. And I think it looks so weird and quirky. It does fit. Anyway, that's not to do with
Anyway,
today's story, but
anyway, yeah.
it'll be interesting. It did bring up the discussion then of like master plan and like, I mean, they're gonna have five. So they've got one. They'll have 1, 2, 3,
Three.
and 4.
1, 2, 3, 5,
5.
and 10, I think
It's
they've
something like
got.
that.
Yeah.
9 or 10. I can't remember which one
Yeah.
it was. So it's so weird from like a story linear perspective, isn't it?
Yeah, but it makes it easier if they are going to animate some of that.
I wouldn't be surprised if they animated 4.
Yeah, then you got the first half at least.
At least if you did like 4 and 6, you've got the first half of that story animated.
But you want it all, though. You want the whole lot. I mean, the
Yeah.
plan is that I think they are still working on some. We should get an animation soon. Whether that's going to then turn up to be a real one later down the line doesn't matter. I
Yeah.
think they're just going to. They are planning to. They did say when we went to the Savages, they are planning to do them all at some point. So
Yeah. I imagine that this might change things slightly because there's real footage now. And if anything, that real footage would help fill in some more gaps for what comes in these other things. And there's so much to fill. 12 episodes is a lot to fill with 3 things.
yeah, it's a lot, and without many pictures and things. I can't believe we're talking about missing episodes and stuff. We've
exciting for
even
you, isn't it,
started.
Mark?
Yeah, it is. I can't believe it.
Not thrilled.
Um,
Not dreamed of this day.
yeah, I know. This is amazing. But we should get back on the topic. I can't believe I'm
We
saying
should,
that.
yeah.
We should get back to the modern series. Although, yeah, I have been thinking about Dalek's World's Planet, and I can't wait to see it in a couple of weeks. Series 3, The Sound
Yeah.
of Drums and Last of the Time Lords.
Ever since I was a child, I looked into the vortex. That's when it chose me. The drumming, the call to war. Can't you hear it?
The Doctor Who season finale, Saturday at 7:05 on BBC One.
Oh, it just seems ages ago since we did Utopia. And we left that on a bit of a cliffhanger. So we had newly regenerated Master. We had the Dr. Jack and Martha stuck at the end of time.
Yeah.
And so this picks up. It sort of disregards that cliffhanger a little bit. They just get out of it straight away, don't they? They just vortex.
I kind of appreciated it, actually. Initially, maybe it's because as well, it was a while since we'd done it. I think if I'd have come straight into that, I'd have been like jarring. And I think if you're just watching this and you come into something like, oh, you feel like, oh, I can't, like, let's say you've not watched a previous episode and then that's what you start with, it would feel like, oh, I'm missing something. So actually starting with that they're just there and then we see what's happened or what they've come from, it sort of does fill that gap a little bit. And I was like, oh yeah, that is how that ended. Like they were I remember thinking like, how are they going to get out of that? So I did kind of appreciate it for myself as well, having that gap. But I can imagine if you were a viewer that doesn't watch every week and you're just tuning in, that helps with some form of
what's happened before. And we are back in sort of present day.
classic, the same street they always use in Cardiff.
They always
use
the
that street.
middle of the high street in Cardiff. Yeah. Very recognisable. The Master, because he went ahead before time travel and all of that, he is Mr. Saxon. He is the Prime Minister. So we've had all these mentions of Mr. Saxon throughout the whole series.
We have, yeah.
And like Martha's family's talked about it. It's come up in, well, do you know what, the very first mention of Mr. Saxon, or the poster, and I think it's the earliest on screen, was the end of Torchwood.
Oh,
There was the
really?
posters up. You know, when they went to that, when Jack and Tosh went back in time to the 50s or whatever, and then Gwen was investigating, there were posters up of Mr. Saxon in Torchwood
Oh,
way
gosh.
back then. And we've had a few posters in the background, I think, throughout this series. And obviously Martha's family's talked about it. So it's been a slow sort of build up of Mr. Saxon being the master. This story is definitely a story of two halves, very much. I prefer this first half, actually, to the second half. I wasn't going into this, I wasn't 100% looking forward to doing this two-parter, because I love this whole series. Apart from, I would say this story is my least favourite part of the actual series. Part of it, I think, I still don't like John Sims' version of the Master. So he's doing all that stuff. So he goes into the cabinet and he like gasses all the people that he's working with and everything. It's a little bit like when the Slitheen took over the government and everything. They're always going in those government buildings and stuff. It's a bit like that all over again.
You love a government
But
building.
I don't know. I just found him really silly doing stuff like that. I just can't. I don't know. I just didn't like. I didn't like it at the time, and I can see what he's trying to do now. You know, all the thumbs up and the gas mark, all of that stuff. I don't know. I just didn't really like it. It's not the Master for me. It's too silly for me.
I know what you mean. It's a really strange one.
I think he's trying to do like David Tennant energy, but like maniac.
So actually, I've gone back and forth on this quite a bit. So I was just saying to Mark before I went back and watched The Demons. And look, okay, let me just go on a side thing before I get to where I'm going with this, so it'll make more sense. I think the reason that David Tennant is probably one of the most popular doctors amongst fans, both classic fans and new fans, is because he is a Doctor Who fan himself of classic, and there are elements of classic Doctors within his performance. So even though he is big and eccentric, I think that is for a modern audience. In the same way, and I think that was me, I've just gone back and I was thinking about like, you know, some of the 70s and 80s Doctors that were big personality Doctors, big performance you know, they were big. The Doctor's always been this big personality, this big larger than life. You can't compare it to the first Doctor, and it was the 60s, because it was also just, that's not what you would have had on TV. But even the second Doctor was, you know, quirky man, you know, the Doctor's always been this sort of eccentric character in the space. And, you know, the way he dressed, the way he acted, draws these people in, these companions and stuff. And I think because David Tennant has always been a fan of Doctor Who, there are elements of that as well within his own performance, but he is a modern Doctor. It's a modern show. It is a of its day show, modern show. So it's not going to be a classic. And that was that balance, which we talked about in series 1, of like when they had the villains. Are the villains modern villains, or are we doing classic Doctor Who villains? You know, like, are we doing the stereotype of a Doctor Who villain, or are we going to be what we think this will be? What is the blueprint going to be for this new Doctor Who? And I think David Tennant is the one that found that balance of like, this is what the Doctor is within. That's why I think he's been so popular, and it's because he knows the history of it, being a fan himself. So with that in mind, when I think of this with the Master, I think that it's been told to match that energy. That is what is done, and this is a modern writing of a Master.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
And I think that's where it can feel really jarring and different.
Actually, it's interesting when you mentioned about series 1 and stuff. You know, when I had a bit of a problem with, you know, when Simon Pegg was that villain guy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's nothing compared to what John Sims doing. If he was doing what Simon Pegg was doing, I think that's more like the Master than what John Sim was doing. I think it's just that it is in the writing as well, though. It is. It's not like his fault that he's doing that.
Weirdly, only because we've watched some of the new, like the 60th anniversary ones, there's scenes here that are as similar in a Russell T Davies style in what has happened in the David Tennant 60th ones as there are in these scenes with John Sims right now.
Oh yeah, it's exactly the same. Like the toy maker doing the Spice Girls thing is John Sim doing uh the Scissor
Trying to remember.
Sisters. He does the Scissor
Yeah,
Sister song. Yeah,
that's
it's
it.
exactly the same. Yeah.
So I think it is them finding this blueprint for who is this villain from this classic era within a modern setting. I think it's that. And there is a sort of a balance there, and that does come within the writing. I don't think it's a performance element. I think he's been told this is what this character is these things, which I think he does nail. He's a genius. He's basically the equivalent of the Doctor. He is selfish. Like he shows all of these things. This is exactly what the Master is. And your energy is to match David's. And I think that's what he's probably been told. And that's what he's gone and done. Like you are matching the Doctor. Match our energies.
It is in the script as well a bit because like when so he's the prime minister, he's taking over, and then he talks to the American president, and he's saying that the Toclafane are coming down and all of that stuff, and they're on the Valiant, and the way that the Master talks to the president and all the other people is like how the Doctor would come in a situation and talk to
I always enjoyed the vanity of the Master. There's always, and there is sort of a vanity here, but it's not as obvious. Like I was really surprised that he had a wife.
That is a big moment, isn't it? The wife, yeah.
Because the Master, that is like for me, the core difference of the two of them is that the Master is so selfish.
Yeah, but he's using her though, isn't he?
I don't know how that's where I feel the most conflict. Actually, I'm sure we'll talk about it. He is using her to progress, but as much as like, I think she's using him, and he's very he's like, I'm going to show you. I mean, he says like, I took her on as a companion, and I took her to the end of the world, and I showed her what the end of the world was going to be. It's almost because also, God, we are really jumping here. Sorry.
Okay, well, let's just go. Let's just say we're going to go across all the episodes back and forth. It will happen.
But hey ho.
Yeah.
He then talks about why he went to the end, met them, and this is a very Master thing. He always wants to be the leader. He always wants to be in charge and lead the universe. I'm bringing them back. Why? Oh, so, they're going to do all that, and then I will lead. And I've sort of taken control of that. I think we miss some of the vanity of it, though, because he's a very vain character. And, she's wearing that beautiful dress. There is a vanity there. He's always snogging her massively. It is vain and vanity.
But then also, she's got a black eye later on in it. Don't know if you noticed.
No, I didn't.
There's a scene much later when she's in the red dress later on. She comes out. I think it's the beginning of part 2 after a long time. I can't remember where it is.
Oh, yeah, it would have been, yes.
They've given her a black eye as well, which is a very subtle thing there, which is a bit nasty.
But I think, so I think she's just as much, he is using her, but he is also, I think he also enjoys her as a toy in his thing, which to me, that doesn't scream Master. But is that this sort of, what is this blueprint of a modern?
That is the difference, yeah. Because when I first watched it, when that journalist, that Vivian Rook, comes in to talk to the wife and try and say, look, you're in danger and everything, in my mind, I thought she was just like a normal person that didn't know anything. I generally thought she would be like, oh, okay, we've got to get out of here sort of thing. I was actually genuinely surprised when she turned around and she was like, yeah, I know all of this. I thought it was going to be a bit more straightforward, that they would try and do that. But that's a good scene, all of that stuff. And that journalist and all the script. But then, yeah, it's just maybe it's the tone of the script as well, where she's screaming and he opens the door and shuts the door and she's still screaming and everything. That sort of comedy in there. It's that weird sort of comedy that doesn't work when you had the Slitheen in Downing Street and everything, where it was all that silliness, but it was still a good story. I don't know. I think it's the whole tone of these episodes that I might have a bit of an issue with, because it does go from that silliness stuff to stuff like the violence and everything. It's all sort of mixed up a bit, and then you have the music and everything in there as well. I don't know. It's just a weird mix of stuff.
I just don't think they found the blueprint for, like, the Daleks. I think they're like, yes, we know how they come back. We've established how they fit in. They're robotic. But when it comes to like, they are what they are. Cybermen, we know how they fit into it. We've established a whole other way of bringing the Cybermen into this world. We know how, like, again, they're robotic. We've had, what other things? Have we had Autons yet? Yeah, we've had Autons in it. Yeah. There's certain, like, baddies from past that have come in and they've been able to just bring them in because they are what they are. They're very, like, but when it comes to, like, someone that someone's acted and personified that character for, and this is also the interesting thing with the Master we've talked about, but, like, we had an actor play it for a long time. And even after that, they try to keep the face, which is wild.
The
I mean, the
beard.
guy can friggin' regenerate. Do you know what I mean? He can become anything. They still try to keep his face, almost like trying to, like, keep what their idea was of this character. And I think this is just a trial of that.
But they've made him like the most powerful person. And my favourite part and the tone of the first episode is when the Dr. Jack and Martha are the fugitives on the run.
Yeah.
The Master has complete power. They have to go into hiding. It's so dangerous. I like that part of it.
Yeah. I like how and that is always, for me, the best part about the Master as a villain, because he's just as clever as the Doctor, and he is Time Lord, sorry, but person. He's not a robot that can't get upstairs. He's not missing emotion. He is just as equivalent as the Doctor, just as smart, same upbringing, same knowledge, same background, same access to technology, everything. He can second guess what the Doctor will do because they know each other so well. That is what makes him such an interesting character. I think what they've tried to really lean into is almost like he's a psychopath.
That's it. That's how he's playing it. Yeah, they've made it. But then that's sort of part of the story because it's the drumming in his head, and it implies that he's always had the drumming in his head since he was a kid, and that's sort of what turned him insane into that. So they're trying to make an explanation of why the Master is who he is, and it's that manic. He's got this drumming in his head, and it won't go away.
Yeah.
So
And, like, I can see, like, I think they're just trying to make him, and even as I was explaining it then, like, I was thinking, like, it's a great killer, isn't it? Like a great serial killer story. If it was a horror film, it would be your Anthony Hopkins in the box, that.
yeah.
Because it's someone so smart and clever, and you just and someone trying to figure out and understand them. That's what it is, and who can always try and guess your second move.
And you have great cameos in this. You have Anne Widdecombe with him, and McFly, and Sharon Osbourne.
I know. Was it Anton Deck as well?
No, I don't think so. I think it was just them lot.
There was
it?
McFly.
McFly, Anne Widdecombe, Sharon Osbourne. Was there someone else?
Maybe it was Sharon Osbourne, the first one. I think you're right.
I can see original Master and Anne Widdecombe together and stuff like that. That was quite nice. That was a good way of.
Oh yeah, for sure. That was funny. I think it is that sort of just trying to nail. It's just interesting, isn't it?
And you have with the Doctor then, obviously, there's another Time Lord. There's all that going on. There's the first time that they speak together properly. Well, it's on the phone. It's over the phone, isn't it? When he's on the run, that's when they have their conversation, and they don't really actually come face to face till a bit later on. Watching these episodes, though, the Doctor is very much sidelined. I really don't like when he gets aged up. Well, he gets aged up twice. He gets aged up, and it's almost like a Doctor-light couple of episodes. Because he gets aged up, then he sits there in that chair, and then he is like a CGI goblin thing for the second episode. I feel like that is written around. We've got a lot of filming to do. David Tennant can't do all of this filming and make other episodes at the same time. I feel like they've sort of made it so he is written out a little bit in this. It's not the Doctor, apart from that beginning bit where they're on the run, once they get to the Valiant and the Master takes over, it's not really about the Doctor. And okay, he gets that bit at the end, but he's really out of it, and I really don't like that aging stuff.
But it is a Doctor. I checked the credits. It's not someone stepping in as him.
No, I know, but it's just...
So it would be just as long to film him in all that makeup as it would be to...
maybe with the CGI stuff, he's out the way for a bit. But
that's the only time he's out the way.
I didn't see any need for that. And okay, you have to get the Doctor...
I think it's to make him vulnerable. It's to make him vulnerable. And I think for Martha's family as well, to make, like, to see... Because they see him still as this villain. And then they see, you know, he then becomes... I mean, it's shown like a year later, isn't it, the second story?
Well, actually, I didn't realise there's a line, which I never realised before. When the Master zaps him old, he says he's done whatever Professor Lazarus did, but opposite. Yeah. So it sort of ties in with the series. But it's an interesting choice. I think it probably is to make him vulnerable, like you say, because otherwise you could have locked him up and had him in like this special security thing. The Doctor is trapped there. He can't get out. He's powerless to do anything. And it could have just been David Tennant, like, in a clear box prison thing for a year. But they put him in this, and he just sits there and he doesn't really say anything or do anything. I don't know, it's just a really odd choice just to be like, let's do all this makeup on him.
Yeah. Well, his argument then later on is that he spends the time getting into the new...
the computer.
We are jumping
the
around.
Computer thing. It's to do with like satellites and the Archangel.
Yeah, he's getting
thing.
into the new wavelength because they're going to chant Doctor.
Yeah, but he could have just sat in a prison, just normal, doing that.
Yeah. So no, that's the reason why he wasn't talking and stuff like that. That's his argument for that and engaging. When he gets turned into the little CGI gnome, it is adorable, but so ridiculous.
I really don't like it.
Do not for a second believe that is a Time Lord getting old.
Exactly. I was trying to look. I looked on Wikipedia or something. They were like, they made the aging Doctor makeup based on William Hartnell, and I was like, no, it's not. What are you talking about?
I can see where they've gone with that. They've given him the white hair. They've given him the white hair wig. That's it. And then they've probably just tried to try and predict what they think David Tennant would look like older. Okay,
so you make him old. Okay, fine. You make him vulnerable to everyone. Fine. That's why Martha's got to go. The Doctor can't get out or do anything. It's that goblin thing that I don't understand. There is no need to do that. And they put him in that little weird like birdcage thing. And is it just because like Dobby from Harry Potter was popular at the time or something? Is it that kind? Like, there is no reason. All I can think of is that they replaced David Tennant with CGI so David Tennant could go off and do something else. I just don't understand why they would do that. It's the weirdest thing. And actually, it's my least favourite thing in the whole of the New Who so far, I think. It's just odd.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's such an odd choice. It's a really I couldn't work out why they'd done that. It was a really odd choice.
Yeah. But that's probably why I don't like this episode. It just doesn't make sense to me. So yeah, the Doctor, he's great at the beginning, but then yeah, he's just not part of that story for a long time until the end. You're just waiting for something to happen. Well, then, okay, going back again, Martha's family. So
yeah,
we've been back and forth with Martha's mum quite a bit. We were like, she was on the phone with the Saxon people and stuff, and we see her again on the phone. But actually, she's not bad. She's just trying to do what she thinks is right. And the dad's there as well. And basically, they all get captured by the Master in the end. They think they're trying to help. They all get captured. And it's funny that Leo doesn't get captured, Reggie Yates, because I think they say in the commentary or something, basically he was busy and they basically forgot to book the actor. So that's why he's not there with the rest of the family, because he wasn't available. So they had to quickly put in that scene where he's like, oh, he's off somewhere else. And Martha's like, get away.
So
he just wasn't available. Otherwise, I think you would have had Leo there as well, because it's a bit weird that he gets away, the others don't.
It is a bit weird. It's very classic Doctor Who.
So he's not there. Tish is working for the government. She just gets a job wherever she's needed. I quite like that. But then ends up working on the Valiant and stuff.
I'd love to be like Tish gets like job opportunities left, right, and centre. I think I need her CV. I think.
Yeah. I mean, we didn't even talk. There is a massive sky base thing, which is the future of whatever the government is going to have, if that's an American thing or whatever. Anyway, that's the Valiant. They're up in the sky. What else happens in part one? I'm just trying to think. Well, let's talk about Martha. Okay, this is the big thing. Let's just talk about Martha's whole journey here. This is what it's all been leading up to. Her whole arc of this series. I absolutely love Martha. She goes through it even more here. Her family are all locked up. I mean, there's the bomb in her flat. There's all of that going on as well.
Yeah.
Like, and
it all goes on for Martha.
Yeah, she's back in that red jacket again. She's on the run. They have the keys, don't they, around their neck, and they're all off on the run for quite a bit. But the main thing for Martha is the Doctor manages in about 5 seconds to whisper the whole plot of the plan for a year in her ear. I mean, what do you think about the jump between episodes? Like the whole year, that's a big chunk of time. We've not had that in Doctor Who before, between episodes.
I think that, I quite liked it. I think it was kind of the only way it could move it forward.
I mean, you had to move stuff forward. It's interesting.
You couldn't end, again, it ends on such a high, that episode, you have them coming in, you're either going straight into that, which I think would have felt very jarring and messy. I don't know where it would have gone. I think you needed that space of like, a year has passed. How is the Earth settled now? A year on, where are we? The Master's still up there and he's, I quite liked it. And like you said, we've not had that before. I enjoyed it, sort of like to think for a whole year they've been stuck in this.
Because like in a normal Doctor Who,
really intense.
In a normal Doctor Who story, the point where the Toclafane are coming down to take over the Earth, that's when the Doctor was like, aha, this is what I can defeat you now. I'm going to press this button and do this and stop you before it happens. But it just shows how, again, it's showing how powerful the Master is. He's won. He wins, or he thinks he wins, for a whole year. Yeah, and Martha's family are prisoners, and Jack is a prisoner for like a whole year. He keeps getting killed. I like, there's that mention, obviously because Torchwood would have helped out, and he's like, oh, I've sent them away. I don't get that, because, okay, when it first happened, he sent Torchwood away to the Himalayas, he says, or something, on a fake mission. So Torchwood are out of action for a whole year as well, are they? What's happened to all
I'm
that
guessing maybe they're dead.
Yeah, or Unit.
They said Japan's been destroyed, like a load of countries have been destroyed.
Oh, of course, yeah. And same with Unit, I suppose, and anybody else that would help.
They probably would have killed a lot of those people first. Or at least, like, once they started to, like, retaliate, kill them.
Mm. Also, so Martha has to go around the world for a year. But we don't know that at the end of the first episode. I quite like, he whispers something in her ear, she transports down, you think she gets away, and then off she goes out into... I quite like that you don't necessarily know what's going on. She just disappears. I mean, this is the biggest job for Martha. This is... And not many Doctor Who companions, I'm sorry, not many Doctor Who companions would be able to do this. I mean, the companions that I think would be able to cope with this and go off on this mission, I think Barbara could do it. I think Sarah Jane would do it. And Ace.
Do you think Barbara would do it? I'm just thinking.
I think Barbara's got that patience, and I think Barbara could do it, Ace and Sarah Jane. Companions who wouldn't do it, Susan, Katerina, Victoria, yeah, they were the ones I was thinking. There's no way they would be able to for a whole year.
I think Jo would do it.
Yes, she would, because it's the Master as well and everything. Yeah. She would be able
Jo
to do it. But there's quite a few that wouldn't. Like, I just don't think, like, Mel wouldn't, Vicky wouldn't be able to do it. No, I just don't think some of them.
Rose would have.
See, I don't know. Rose would be too white. I think Rose would be like, I don't think Rose has the patience.
The Doctor.
She wouldn't have.
And I think if the whole point is to just go out into the world and talk about how amazing he is.
Yeah, maybe. But I think that's a lot on.
And
Martha.
she's also proven before she's willing to like she went into and looked into the TARDIS. She wanted to get back so badly.
I suppose so, but I didn't have Rose down to do it. I think Martha is stronger than Rose to be able to do this.
I think you're right, but I think she would do it. I think if that was what she was told to do, she would go on and be like, he's told me to do this, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, it's just a shame that and Martha's whole family is hostage as well. That's a big thing.
I think this is a great end story for Martha. And I think there's something actually really positive and like rounding in it was never me and I'm walking away because I'm never going to be enough.
I mean, okay, right at the end then, that speech at the end, you're not sure, you think, when I first watched it, I was disappointed she wasn't going to stay. I did think she was going to stay when she went out and came back again. I thought she was going to stay because I really liked her and I wanted her to stay. But for that character, we've had all those times she's been compared to Rose.
I knew as soon as she called that doctor to see, like...
Yes, what's his name?
For me, what's his name? Tom, what's his name? I call him the cheating actor because he cheated on his wife filming Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Isn't he from, what's he from? He's not from Miranda, is he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he was in not Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. The fairy tale one, Once Upon a Time.
Oh, I didn't know he was in that. Okay.
He's in that.
Yeah.
And while he was on that, he had an affair.
Oh my
His
God.
wife was Tamsin Outhwaite.
Yeah, Tamsin Outhwaite from EastEnders. Love Tamsin Outhwaite.
So they were married.
Yeah.
And then he was in America doing Once Upon a Time.
Yeah.
And he had an affair while he was out there.
Oh, wow. Okay, I didn't know that. Anyway, this is pre-affair in Doctor Who. I mean, it must have been one of his earlier roles. I don't think he was well known.
Yeah, because I think like she even said at the time, like it was like, I can't remember. It's all, you can find it. It's all online about it. Because she said like, I'd spent years like supporting his career and stuff.
Oh, God. Wow.
So I was like, Martha, no.
Well, we'll see what happens there if there's any other mentions there.
But yeah.
But also the year for Martha as well, in terms of Doctor Who stories, there is an audio series, The Year of Martha Jones, of all the things she got up to in the year. Well, there's 3 stories. What she got up to, starring Freema Agyeman. One of the only audios Freema's done. She didn't do very many. I'm not sure why. Well, she's off in America a lot, isn't she?
Yeah, she's doing all right.
I haven't actually heard all of them yet, actually. I started the other day. I wanted to get through them. But there is one. The first one, it's got her mum in it. Her mum managed...
Her mum. So I actually remember we were watching it, and she was at the end when she has a gun and she's pointing at the master. And I said she's probably thinking, fuck you, I'm in Bridgerton now.
Yeah, you think she's going to do it because she's been so annoyed this whole time.
They talk about it.
And they've gone through so much. But in this audio, she's in it because she manages to escape for a period of time to turn up in the Big Finish set, Year of Martha Jones. So she does get out for a little bit, but then she must have to go back again. So yeah, that's the thing. There's so much that can happen in that year. There's another book as well called something of Year of Martha as well, all short stories. So there's so many things that people have written and done in that time. But yeah,
I also think as well in that year. I mean, remember, her family really hated the Doctor. Well, now they're working with him. Nothing even needs to be said. That whole scene, that whole stuff is, you can see how things have changed, how the world is, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm jumping back again, but I did really.
Yeah, you can just see all the changes and they've gone through that. But it's such a long time to be up there. And I suppose they're the only ones that are like, you see how everyone's living down on the world. And then, okay, so she goes, so Martha and, what's his name? The guy from Miranda.
Yeah, the guy from Miranda.
Yeah. So they're sort of working together for a little bit and they go and see that scientist, don't they? And there's that whole sort of fake plot that Martha has about trying to get the weapon and all of that kind of stuff. I quite like that. And again, when watching that, I believed all of that to begin with. I was really surprised about the whole other thing. And actually, this second episode, I was still at uni, because I had done... So, when we talked about when Rose left, that Doomsday episode, and I had just done that, I'd been filming at that festival, Mad About Waddesdon. I remember I had been filming, we did it 2 years in a row. I did the second year of it, exactly the same. And I remember coming home and watching the second episode of this. Then that's how I remember watching it. The second year wasn't as good. It rained a lot, so we couldn't do as much filming, and it wasn't as good the second time around. But I remember coming back absolutely exhausted after filming all day on this event and everything. and then be like, I can watch what happens now. And maybe I was a little bit disappointed because also I had been on the forums online, and there was all these rumours because we see the Gallifrey, don't we? We see the mention of Gallifrey and the guy in the collar and all of that. Again, we never had any of that classic reference before or seen Gallifrey
Not
like
as
that
much
before.
as that, no.
Not like that. There was all rumours, and I think I read those rumours there was going to be like, Tom Baker was going to be in it, and there was going to be this and this and this. And I sort of hyped it up a little bit that there was going to be all these different things, and there wasn't. And then the Doctor turned into that thing, that CGI thing. I was like, it was just a complete disappointment, I think, to what I had imagined was going to be happening. Martha has to tell this story, basically, and everybody has to think of the word Doctor at the same time. This gets a lot of criticism from fans, this actual solution to the problem here, because everyone's like, he's sort of trying to be like the godlike being. I don't think Doctor Who works. The New Who does this a lot to the Doctor, makes him this godlike figure, this sort of saviour figure, and it might not be the best way to do it. It's a bit of a cop-out, I think. I don't like that solution, that suddenly that's what restores him. And I suppose there's a whole idea of the Archangel Network, blah, 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 reverses it, or some kind of science. But actually, it's everyone's faith in the Doctor and all of this stuff. It's all a bit... Do you know what I mean? It's not... I get the idea, and I like the idea, and I like that how Martha has to go off for the year, and it's not a quick solution this time round. But I don't think...
I think also, I know what you're saying, but if he had done some sort of like what the Master would have done with power, that would be different. But he literally turns around and forgives him.
Oh, well, at the end as well, yeah, when he gets shot, when the wife shoots him, yeah.
Yeah. He literally, he de-ages, he moves forwards, goes to him, and is like, I forgive you.
But that's just like what Jesus would do.
I see what you're saying.
That is a complete Jesus move.
But it's not like, I thought you meant more like this power of like, to like destroy a universe he can.
Well, same thing, but it's all wrapped up in the same thing for me. That's what Jesus would do.
But I think for the Master, that is almost the worst thing. I mean,
yeah.
That is the worst thing. Like,
because the Master's like the devil.
But this Doctor wouldn't forgive anyone else. I mean, we've seen he's like so cutthroat with other things. Do you know what I mean? Like, gives them a chance, and then it's no chance.
But he's the last of his race. He's the only other,
and that's the difference.
That's the thing.
That's the difference. But we've seen it with all these other. I mean, we saw it on his first appearance. He was like, I don't think he had any. I think it's for him. That's almost like doing the same thing. Him to do all that and give him nothing. To give him death is to give him a way out.
Yeah, and then the Master takes that way out, doesn't he? And
then he gets his way, and he takes a different way out.
Yeah.
So, like, I almost think that's like in himself. He's like, that is. That's almost his worst punishment. I think that's kind of the point.
Yeah.
I didn't see it like because we know that he does that, the Doctor.
It's just the way that everyone's like thinking at the same moment, which I know it is tied up with the satellites and the internet or whatever they call it, but I don't know. It's just the way that it's done.
I think as well, it's got to be. It's yes, and it's also tied into this point of like for a year, people have thought they've seen absolute despair and the worst, and all that you can do is look at hope. Now, for some, that is religion. And at this point, it's this undercurrent story. I mean, you are completely right in what you were saying. This is literally how these things begin and start. And it is that this narrative, this whole thing, and then it gets forgotten anyway.
Oh, that's the thing. Well, that's a little bit of an annoying thing that happens a lot in Doctor Who, though. I shouldn't really be complaining about it. Time is reversed. Everyone forgets that all happened. That whole year never happened.
Yeah.
Apart from
but you need that as well. I mean, we have had things be remembered because we've had it pointed out when stuff has happened in the past. Do you remember that Christmas when,
Oh, yeah, all of that's happened. But it's sad that Martha's family remember it all. I think Martha remembers it all. Obviously, that woman, that scientist woman doesn't remember. Martha buys her flowers for no reason. And that guy's back working at the hospital and stuff. I mean, we haven't even talked about, again, the Toclafane thing as well. Turning out that Toclafane is the future humans that went off, and that's that little kid.
That was great.
The
For
little
me,
kid that you liked
I
from the
know.
Blue Peter.
I really liked that as a spin on it.
I think that's a joke as well. The Blue Peter competition kid winner. Turns out that he got massacres and turned into an alien. But they didn't tell him that, did they?
No. I really liked that spin. I found that really like scary and freaky. I found it very like you see Martha's reaction and the line of like, you know, humans are the worst killers or whatever, like humans kill themselves and he literally shoots it in the head. We're seeing it now in the world. We're seeing it right now in the world. We're the worst for it. So I think this is the thing. This is a story, and this is what Doctor Who does really well. And to be fair, this is what Russell T Davies is really good at capturing the essence of humanity. And that's what Doctor Who does really well. But the essence of humanity is that, isn't it? Like, is war. And what happens in war is hope. And people do come together at times of the worst. And sometimes good, sometimes bad. That is humanity. That is just, like, generally, though, when things are really terrible, you'd like to think we'll try and come together and if we're all in it. And if this happened tomorrow, we've got war going on right now in the world. If this happened tomorrow, suddenly the sky opened up and a load of mini robots came and killed. How much of the population did it start with? 10% of the entire world? What do you think we'd do?
I don't know.
And then as it goes through, and it just takes out countries.
Yeah.
Until we're all gone.
It's all very real. Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, a couple of things wrapping up the story. Well, so obviously the Master dies. The Doctor sends him off. There is that shot though of someone picking up the ring.
Yes,
the Master's
I saw
ring.
that.
We'll remember that at some point.
The Master always gets away.
The Master always gets away.
Always gets away
somehow. I mean, I can't really hide that fact. Okay, we have to talk about. Okay, once it's all over, they drop Jack back off to go off to Torchwood again. He's like, I've got to go and see my mates at Cardiff Bay. And the weirdest line, I mean, there's so many weird things in this. Is Jack the face of Bo?
Brilliant. What like a turnaround is that? That is absolutely brilliant.
That is, I don't know if everyone's like, oh, he's just joking. Oh, people are like, no, it makes sense. Because he can't die. Face of Bo had lived for however many years.
No one knew.
I don't know if that ties in. You know, when the Doctor's aged into the weird blobby thing, that means that's Jack's aged and he ends up as the big facey thing in that way. Is that a link there? Is that why they've tried to do that to show that's what happens?
Well, because Jack isn't human.
No, he is. Well, yeah, you know, he is.
Is he?
You always say
he's a time agent.
He's a time agent. He's not. He's just a future person.
I thought that it was from another planet.
Well, yeah, but I think he is descended from humans. I think. I don't think he's not like an alien. And he would just die as a normal human if he didn't have that Rose Bad Wolf thing. So I don't know. Is it because he's lived so long he evolves into? I don't know how he gets from Jack to the face of Bo. Do you believe it? Do you think he is the actual face of Bo? Is that?
You know what? It's so ridiculous. I want to believe it.
But then it makes sense. That's how the face of Bo knows everything and can tell the Doctor you are not alone because he's been there and done it. It does make sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it could be. I mean, he can't die. Like, I'm sorry, he has to die at some point. He has to, like, you know, and we see it come to the end of its life. By then, he's obviously wiser enough to not say, and obviously they've met before. Yeah, I don't know. I think as well, because they talk about the face of Bo being, oh, we've got the face of Bo, they have to tie it into something of, like, lore. I don't know. I like to think that Jack is the face of Bo.
That was a surprising line. And then, so yeah, obviously Jack runs off back to Torchwood. And then we have all the like we said, that we've had the end Martha stuff. Yeah, I did enjoy it more this time round. I think it works well if you watch it as a whole series. If you like binging all of series 3, it does make a good finale especially with Martha's character and everything. But I don't think I would choose to watch this as a story on its own. Like, oh, I want to watch that 2-parter sort of thing. I don't know. I
think you need the build up. I don't know. That said, I don't think I'd watch the last one by itself, but I think I'd watch the 2 running into it.
Actually, one other thing as well, didn't even talk about, this was big at the time, using the Sound of Drums song from the Rogue Traders.
Oh.
I don't know if... No?
I don't remember this, no.
Here come the drums.
Oh,
here come the
yeah.
drums. Neighbours link there, sung by Natalie Battingwaite, who is Izzy in Neighbours. It was like it wasn't a number one over here. It must have come out at least a year before that. Because I remember she was still in Neighbours when this came out, and it was that whole Neighbours does pop star sort of thing was around. It's the only decent song they had, actually. I don't think they're still going. I think Rusty Davies just liked the song, and in the song they say the sound of drums, and it sort of fits in with the Master Sound of Drums thing. So they used the song. I mean, I suppose we had Britney Toxic, didn't we, in series 1, but we haven't really had many examples of sort of music like that.
No. Yeah.
And the Scissor Sisters and stuff in there. It's quite a nice thing to do. It seemed good at the time. Watching it now, it does seem a bit forced. That's the only thing.
I think it did. I think it felt at the time. I liked it.
Oh, there was something else I was going to say as well. Oh, what was it? No, it's gone. Oh my God, it was really important. What was it? The music. There was something else in this episode that I needed to talk about, and I can't remember what it is. That's so annoying. It's just gone.
When it comes to you can tell us next time.
Okay, so next. So we are doing everything in transmission order.
Yes, I know. So we thought, because we were talking about this, and I was like, it's not going to be the Christmas one.
Well, no, obviously we had that cliffhanger, don't we? That goes into Christmas. The Titanic.
And I was like, I don't think we're going to have Titanic next. I think we're going to be going back to Torchwood.
Well, I looked up the dates earlier. So this finished in July 2007, and the next thing started in September 2007, and it is Series 1 of Sarah Jane.
Series 1 of Sarah Jane. That's what we'll be doing.
Which is 5 two-part stories.
Oh, okay, fine.
So it's not too long.
5 two-part stories, so 10 episodes.
Yeah, but we'll do them. They're like 20 minutes. Okay. So essentially, the running time is like 5 normal episodes of Doctor Who.
Okay. Sarah Jane Adventures.
So it is Sarah Jane. Yeah, I thought it might be Torchwood, but that's not.
And we have a Oscars to do before that.
Oh, and we've got a Oscars. We haven't done a Oscars for so long. We haven't. Oh, so many things we need to try and remember.
You're going to get your thinking cap on, Mark. I do nothing.
I do.
I rock up.
I'm going to start making those lists. Yeah, I need to look up all the categories so we don't forget anything. So just to finish off, though, obviously Martha has got. Are you sad to see Martha go?
Yeah, but like I said, I think the way she left and ended, I thought was really good for that character. And just a great message. Don't stick around for a man that's not willing to stick around for you.
Yeah, I feel like she was designed and written as a one series character, and she didn't have. I don't know. I just wish she'd have a bit more fun. We didn't see her have too much fun.
Loads of fun, Mark. What you want? She'd have flirted with Shakespeare. She's had loads of flirting times with people. Just because she's not fun with the Doctor.
Yeah, she was,
and she
always
has
been
fun
compared
with the
to
Doctor.
Rose.
She's I think grown as herself. I think she'll go back and be a better Doctor.
Yeah. I like the way that she left, but I just feel like she travelled the Earth for a year. She then had to deal with the Doctor in Human Nature when he was human and deal with all of that. I
think she's had a great time.
She got captured in that car and had to. What did we say she did? Wash her clothes in that car or whatever. You know, she had to. She has to do all sorts of different things. She didn't have the best time. I don't think she could have had a bit more fun.
No, I disagree. I think she's had a great time.
A bit more fun. Okay. Well, there's plenty of other books and spin-off stories featuring Martha with the Doctor. If you're interested, and the year of Martha Jones as well. I'll have to listen to some more and tell you what happens. Anyway, okay, so yes, Oscars coming up soon, everybody. And then, we'll be doing Sarah Jane Series 1. I didn't do an intro or an outro for this one.
No, you didn't.
I don't know what can we do? What should we say?
Well, we've got the Oscars next, Mark. Save it for that.
Okay. I'll get the invites out. We'll have it on the Valiant. That's a good place to have it. The Oscars ceremony. We'll stay on the ship, on the sky ship thing. That's a good place. Okay, everybody. We will see you very soon for the Oscars. In the meantime, you can follow us at 2WatchWho on social media. Look out, Sarah has access to all social media now.
I do. Mark finally sorted it out.
So, yeah, send your messages in. And you can find us on patreon.com as well, 2WatchWho. And in the meantime,
leave us a review. Please leave us a review.
Oh, yeah, leave us a review on wherever you listen to your podcast as well. That would be very nice. And we will see you all next time.
Bye.
Bye.